welcome. You were selected as one of the hidden gems here at CREC, and we just want to get to know a little bit about you. So I'm gonna ask you some questions, and you do the talking and I do the listening. So because we're pressed for time, I'm gonna head right in with the questions. So share a little bit about your background and how you came to work at CREC.
So I was born and raised in Hartford on the North End. I went to all of the Hartford schools. I went to Mark Twain for elementary. I went to Fox Middle for middle school. I was in an all-girls cluster. Oddly enough, there was an all-boys cluster next door, well, across the hall, and Doug McCory was a teacher. He was a teacher in the all-boys cluster. And then I went to Weaver High School. And Tim Sullivan was my history teacher. So I am familiar with some of the people in CREC because of the teaching, on the teaching aspect of it. But yeah, I was born and raised in the North End. And so I after high school, went to community college and was looking for a job. And one of my cousins works here. And so she talked to my sister, and that's how I came to CREC.
You started out where? You started out?
I started out in many moons ago in transportation. My cousin worked for Kim Green. She worked for Open Choice, and she talked to Nikisha. And when I got there, we were using paper. That's how long ago it's been.
Yes, and you and
you were there, Shawnette.
Yes, because we would use the paper, the books with the paper.
Yes,
we would babysit.
Everything was manual back then.
So, yes. So tell me, what are some positions you've held since you've been in CREC? Can you elaborate?
So I started off as a transportation assistant. I went from transportation assistant to a transportation scheduler.
I hear you.
I went to a transportation scheduler to a team lead. And then for a little while, I did I was like acting supervisor in a satellite location for a couple of months at the beginning of startup. And then I was doing, then I came back to being a team lead, and now I'm a family liaison.
Wow. So you're very familiar. I'm telling your age. You're very familiar with the open choice students. There are some students that will see us, maybe you out in the community, and be like, do you remember me? Do you remember?
Yes, it's funny because me and Nikisha were just talking about that. I feel so old when I see some of them have grown up and graduated, have kids of their own. It's like, I've been here that long. But it also helps with building a rapport with the families, especially if they have like multiple kids in the program and they're already familiar with you. It's easier to talk to those parents because they're already familiar with you.
Okay, that's true. That is true. Describe a moment, a defining moment in your life that has shaped you into who you are.
So honestly, I didn't realize that helping others was my calling until I started working here. Just like helping the parents and assisting the schools and helping to advocate for the bus drivers or the families or the schools or whoever. Those things was like, okay, this is something that I should be doing. And I actually like it. I enjoy being able to help.
Good. It's it's very fulfilling when we can help families, with struggles, and you don't know all the struggles that are out there until you come to transportation and see there are a lot of struggles for families.
Right.
Describe some challenges that you have faced in your current position.
Some challenges. So a lot of times, honestly, I feel like the students are at a disadvantage because of the adults in their life don't show up. And people are not being held or holding themselves accountable and helping as much as they could, or just showing up for the kids and stuff like that, because ultimately that's what we're here for. And adults are supposed to be a role model to these kids. And I feel like in a lot of the situations that I deal with, I don't see that too often. So that's challenging. And I also want to help more, but I'm limited to what I could do based on my current role.
All right. All right. Good feedback, Quiana. Good feedback. Tell me, what do you enjoy doing when you're not in CREC? You have many, many responsibilities.
So believe it or not, when I'm not at work here, I enjoy my other job where I'm working as a behavior tech for kids with autism.
Okay.
And, other than that, I like shopping, I like traveling, creating moments with friends and family, and just enjoying life.
Yeah, that's true. What traits do you believe great leaders should have?
So I honestly believe that a great leader should be someone who is encouraging, who shows empathy, who shows sympathy, who's nurturing, who is always pushing you to do better, who wants better for you. I feel like people will do more for their bosses and people in a supervisor role if they had a good connection with them. They're gonna want to show up. They're going to want to put their best foot forward. They're gonna want to do great because they know that this person is depending on them and they don't want to let them down. I believe that having an open door policy is also a good thing, almost like a nurturing setting. Maybe, I'm biased because that's who I am as a person. So I think that people should be like that. I know that all the time that's not something that you can do all the time, but I think that would build a great employee supervisor relationship.
I agree. I couldn't agree anymore. One of the things I want to ask the last two questions, and it ties into the theme of the month coming up, which is Black History Month. And I just want to see, from your perspective, what are some of your voice and aspirations that you try to instill in your community, that you live in, work in, post-COVID? A lot of things have happened. So
honestly, it's just showing up and putting yourself in someone else's shoes, being held accountable, thinking about your actions and how they may affect someone else. Things like that. Like that's very important, because a lot of times people don't think about how their actions are going to affect someone else. Or sometimes they don't even believe that their actions are affecting someone else. And a lot of times we see that just in transportation, something very small turns into something very big really quickly, and it could be avoided just by people putting themselves in someone else's shoes, or being empathetic, or just taking accountability for something that they've done, or a part that they've played, or just being able to apologize for something because it probably wasn't meant in a way that someone else took it. Just those things, that's very important.
Good. And the final question before I ask, I want to give you your flowers, because you've been in transportation for a long time and you have grown within to this beautiful woman that you are today. And I just want to say kudos to you, Quiana. Kudos to you. I just want to ask, what are some of your key components that keeps you thriving in your career?
Just being able to communicate, being a team leader, having clear expectations, just being like, honestly, just being a team player. It's easy to get the job done if you build a rapport and a relationship with other people, and just make them feel that their job is just as important as yours, because without them, you can't do your job. And I think that a lot of times people forget about transportation a lot, and transportation is important because, you know, we're the first ones here in the morning, we're the last ones to leave at night. When everybody's on vacation and the summertime and up until September, we're here grinding it out, you know, and, you know, just trying to make a difference and do what we need to do. Like, it's important. And, you know, I never want to take anything away from the bus drivers because they have an important job, nothing away from dispatchers because they have an important job. The schools have an important job. The parents have an important job. And if we all come together and work together, everything will work and be ran smoothly, you know, and we just have to keep that working relationship afloat because it's important.
That is true. That is true. Well, thank you, Quiana. Thank you for agreeing to do this interview. You are a gem, and I'm glad that people get to see who are the people behind transportation who help Nikisha, you know, get those kids ready for school. And you're right, we are here first thing in the morning and the last one to leave at night. It's not easy. We do miss out on some of our major summer vacations, but
we miss vacation. We miss everything.
We do. But the goal is, and I think we've all made embedded in ourselves, is that children are our priority. We want to make sure they get home safely. Once they leave that door to come to school, it is our responsibility to make sure that they get home safely.
Absolutely.
So, thank you so much for participating, and kudos to you again.
Thank you for choosing me.
Yes. So thank you. And that's it. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.